Hello, everyone, and welcome to the screening of Cities of Last Things. My name is Jun Kim, and I'm part of the programming team here at TIFF. To begin, we would like to acknowledge that tonight's event is taking place on the treaty territory of Mississaugas of New Credit, the traditional territory of Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work in the community. This film is eligible for the Toronto Platform Prize presented by Air France. And it is also eligible for the Girl People's Choice Award. So vote for your favorite films online and on our website at tiff.net/vote. We would like to thank Changhe Films for providing us with this film. Today, we're extremely excited and lucky to have the director Ho Ding back in Toronto. It's been quite some time since he was last here with his debut feature, Pinoy Sunday. He's currently at another event, but he will definitely be here for the Q&A with his cast, so please stick around after the screening. But before we start, I have the cast here just to say a little hello before the screening. Please join me in welcoming Lee Hong-chi and Louise Greenberg.
Thank you for being here. Enjoy your film.
很高兴跟大家见面，然后希望大家观影愉快。
It's a great pleasure to be here with all of you and hope you have a great time and enjoy the film. Thank you.
Thank you and enjoy the screening. Thank you so much for staying after the screening of Cities of Last Things. Please join me in welcoming back the director and the cast of the film, Ho Ding. Could you please invite your cast over? Lee Hong-chi and Louise Greenberg. I have a very quick question before I throw it to the audience. I was very excited and I thought it was beautiful because the film was shot in 35 millimeter, which is rare to come by. So I wanted to know what's the reason you chose to shoot in 35 millimeter and what were some of the difficulties?
Okay. I mean, first of all, thanks for staying. It's cold outside, so just stay here. And normally I would let the credit finish, but because I really want your feedback, so I'll have more time for Q&A. I shot 35 because I was trained to shoot 35s, and my first feature, my short films, I shot on 35. So even though everyone's saying that 35 is dead, for me it's still there. So this is how I feel confident about this medium. So I don't like people to tell me that the film is dead. For me, it's still a processing lab. There's still film stock somewhere. And we're using expired film stock from Fuji. And for me, that's another way to be environmental friendly. It's a recycle thing,
Right, and one question for the cast. How did you prepare for your roles and what were some of the conflicts?
主要最大的就是跟那个路易斯语言不通，然后呢，这个东西对于就是跟对手演员本来沟通起来就会有一个很大的障碍，但是我们认识了1-2天之后，我发现我们不需要语言这一件事情，因为电影在创作的时候本来就不需要透过语言的，所以这是我觉得非常大的一个挑战，也是一个体验。
The biggest challenge would be the fact that Louise and I don't share the same language. So I thought communication between us would be a big hassle, but it turned out to be a great experience because when we were filming the movie, we didn't have to use words to communicate. And that's how powerful and magical movie is. So it turned out to be a great experience.
And Louise?
J'ai préparé le rôle en essayant de discuter avec le réalisateur Wedding de ce qu'on pouvait apporter au rôle, puisqu'il avait écrit avec cette image d'une jeune fille française et on a essayé de faire coller la réalité et l'image qu'il en avait. Et puis j'ai essayé un peu de travailler l'anglais parce que je parle pas très bien anglais du tout. Donc c'était surtout ça. Et après, comme a dit Hong-chi, essayer de s'entendre sans parler la même langue, mais ça, je crois qu'on a réussi.
I prepared the role by talking to the producer because he had imagined avec le directeur, the director, he had produced, imagined the role of a French lady, French girl, and then I went along and as the main actor said that we used language that was other than language, actual language.
Great. I'm gonna start asking questions from the audience, but if you could please keep them concise and speak loudly so that everyone can hear, that'd be great. Show of hands. In the white, please. Yes, please. That's a great question. The question is, could you tell us about the title? It actually has a very different meaning for the Chinese title and the English title. So if you could explain about that.
I took the title, English title, from Paul Auster novel, In the Country of Last Things. And I like Paul Auster, and the title sounds interesting. Because Apichapong once told me that when you pick title, try to Google and make sure there's no one else has the same title. But in Chinese, it's called City of Happiness. And as you can see, if you know Chinese, you can read more about what the title means, because Chinese 幸福, the two words in Chinese is more than happiness. And if you go to Taipei on the street, everyone use these two words to sell house, ice cream, everything. So they, I guess they think this is a concept that people can buy into. So for me, this is it just to tell people that nothing's on the surface. Yeah.
Great. Yes, in the front. The question is about the first part of the film. How important is it to be futuristic?
For me, when I do this reversal structure, I mean, of course, I can start with the present, and go back to past and further past. But for me, to have a future is actually for people to really kind of, because we're in present right now, so you can actually look back and look forward. And for me, it's a really nice point of view. And I know it's kind of bleak for the future, but it could be something, I don't know, it's a warning maybe. If you don't want the future to be like this, maybe we can do something right now. It's just for a way to kind of think about what's going on, that like from your past and from your future.
All right. Well, in the hat. Your film has 3 stories. Could you explain about what you were trying to explore in each of them?
For me, there are one story. It just happened in 3 nights for a person, because its life is quite long. So there's so many stories happening in your life. So, but as you can see, there's a pattern. Even though I have a challenge of trying to make this 3 story different, but yet it's not 3 short films together. It has to have a consistency, because it's 3 nights happening like someone's life. So but we still trying to make it with the seasons. As you can see, it's winter, summer, and spring, and the different time zone and the different look, because we try to make it slightly different. But for me, it's still one film. Yeah.
Great. Any other questions from the audience? I thought I saw, yeah, in the gray.
Thank you.
I have some questions about the influences. I noticed some homages to Walter White, or maybe David Lynch, maybe Josh Hancock. I'm not really sure. But maybe you could tell me about some of the cinematic influences.
The question was, were you influenced cinematically by other directors or other works?
it's nothing fresh under the sun. So if you want to pick every single frames, I mean, people say there's a frame when they are in the back seat of the taxi, looks like lonely together, they're happy together. I mean, we grow up watching films, so maybe subconsciously, we kind of borrow from some images from the film, but I don't know if it's Finch. It's up to you. It's with Lynch. I'm sorry, not Fincher. David Lynch, and it's people say it's Wong Kar-wai, Hou Xiaoxian, Jia Zhang. Yeah, it's cool. If you think this is where I steal from, when you steal something from the master, that's good.
Yep, in the checker shirt. Is there a reason why you wanted to talk about corruption and gangs?
Because I think it's happened more often in the West, like in the East, in Asia. I'm Malaysian, so if you read about Malaysian government, you know what happened. I'm from, it's corruption is quite common in where I come from. Cops doing, this, I don't think it just happened, I think it's happened everywhere. It's just that for me to have the character as a cop, it's very close to, it's more edgy, it's more like risky. And also because I started out making a genre film, so of course you have some film noir elements inside, so that's why I pick as a plot, yeah.
Great. I have another question for the cast, though. What was the most difficult scene in the film, and how were you able to overcome it?
C'était la scène la plus difficile, c'était la scène, la première scène où je me fais arrêter, où il fallait, où je devais courir et bref, on a dû la refaire plein de fois et après on devait faire la cascade où je tombe en arrière et tout ça. Donc ça c'était la plus dure, mais c'était drôle quand même.
The most difficult scene for me was the very beginning when I was running and I had to run, and afterwards sort of make a sort of backwards somersault. So that was quite challenging.
Yeah, that was a big tumble, and I was looking for any scrapes there, but you looked okay. And I was pretty surprised at how much you were physically willing to put into that act. And
我觉得基本上比较难的地方应该是这整部戏，因为怎么说呢？因为它是一个晚上的故事，所以观众看的感觉可能是短短的30分钟、40分钟，或者在电影里面时间可能是6个小时。但是因为这时间距实在太紧了，所以你必须要，因为电影会有时候会跳着拍，所以我必须要在例如说我上一场可能哭过，然后我隔几天要拍这一场的连戏，所以我就必须前面再哭过一次，因为我必须要让别人感受到这是一个晚上的一个状态。
To me personally, I think, to be honest, the whole plot was quite challenging and difficult because the story tells one night in my life. However, you may think it's 6 or 7 hours in real life, but we have to do it quite a few times or for quite a long time. And so the scene, when we were filming the movie, we have to jump back and forth to view a whole story. For example, if I cried for this specific scene and 2 days later we're going to do something that's directly related to the crying scene, I have to pull my emotions back to when I cried and try to make the story continue and to link it all together.
yeah, I had to hold back my tears when you were crying on the ground. That was a very emotional scene, and I thought that was performed excellently. So thank you for doing that. Do we have any more questions from anyone from the back? Yes, I see you over there. Is there an overarching theme or a tone that you're trying to set, especially with the futuristic part, including the rejuvenators and the clones?
Just basically the theme of stuff against nature. For me, it's like people don't talk to each other anymore because of the cell phone. People do plastic surgery because they don't trust their self-image anymore. So everything, all the technology happening right now, it's all against the new like the nature of human. So even you can just, instead of like using finger, you can just do like the magic act. So for me, this is humans gonna be they're gonna lose their function, because we don't walk anymore, we don't talk anymore. So yeah, I think that's the thing I'm trying to find. But of course, the budget is an issue. We're not from Blade Runner, so we cannot do much. So we have to come up with a creative way. I think that's the answer.
Great. Do we have any more questions from the in the white, please? The question was, I'm very interested in language barriers, and how did the two lead actors, because they speak different languages, how were they able to communicate? Did they have any extra time to discuss in advance, and how did you prepare for this kind of chemistry?
基本上我们有排练过一次。然后关于说这个语言不通，其实我一开始我也非常的困扰。但我想分享一个东西，就是昨天我跟路易斯去喝酒去跳舞，然后我们整个晚上也没有说什么，就只有说 yes 或 no， 就点个头。然后我觉得到了就是我们在电影这个状态的时候，它就像音乐一样，我们不需要语言的，我说不上来那是感觉，但是我觉得这最重要的东西就是我对他的信任，还有他对我的信任，即使他不知道我的家世背景，但是他愿意信任我，愿意跟我一起出去，我觉得这就是可能演员跟演员最美好的地方。
We actually rehearsed only once, and as mentioned earlier, language barrier was one of my biggest, I thought would be one of my biggest challenges. However, when we met, we just clicked. And in fact, we went out clubbing last night. We only used simple words like yes and no, but we were able to communicate quite well with each other. And this is the beautiful part of being actors and actresses, because we film movies. It's just like music. It's a universal language, and it's a great feeling.
That's a great answer. Louise, do you have anything to add?
Non, c'est... Enfin, il a tout dit.
He did it perfectly, that she doesn't have to add.
Non, juste oui, c'est-à-dire qu'on a eu de la chance parce que ça aurait pu être très embarrassant de tourner. En plus, c'est une histoire d'amour, enfin, on doit faire croire à cette histoire, sinon le film, il se tient pas. Donc, si on s'était pas entendu, ça aurait été un peu catastrophique, je pense.
No, we were lucky, especially since it is a love story. If we were not able to communicate and click, it would have been an issue, but it worked well.
I just can't believe they still do rehearsal after the film is finished. Yeah.
I think we only have time for one last question. In the gray, I think. Yeah, yep. What's the intention of the first scene of the movie where the man jumps off from the rooftop?
Well, talk about David Lynch, Blue Velvet. It's the same idea that, I'm trying to tell you could be a really serene scenery and happy moment, but, things happen. Yeah, just to want to wake you up. Otherwise, just to want to warn you that this is not easy film to watch. I think this is the guy in the gray shirt.
Let's do just a quick last one. I think someone was, yes. The question was, why did you put a Western character into the film?
It's for that guy to run away from his harsh life that night. If he's gonna meet someone in some fantasy. For me, we were considering using people from Japan and Korea, but it's not far enough. You got to find someone really far for him to feel like he can escape from this place. And also, again, it's a language thing I play with, because for me, sometimes it's good to have someone you don't speak, but you can interact with eyes and body language. Yeah, and also I believe Edward Young has a film called Mahjong, and I don't know if you guys know. It's he also has a French character inside the film. It could be my paying respect to him. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you to the director and the cast for allowing us to screen this beautiful film.